Hello, digital parents. I'm Elizabeth Milovidov, and we are back in the digital parenting community for our third and I promise final interview for today. I'll see if I can get her back. With Dr. Michele McDowell. And what's really been exciting is that if you've seen the past two videos, one was on tech tantrums. Ooh, tongue twisters there.
Yep.
Tech tantrums and gaming disorder, and a second one which is geared really to parents of babies and toddlers from the noughts to 2 years old. So please take a listen. But now today, this one's really special, and this is something that is really in my heart, and that's why I really wanted to take advantage of her presence to ask and get us some really good advice. So let me lay the scene, if you will. A few weeks ago, I was giving a workshop on anti-racism and anti-hate online. And so I was taking the parents with me on this journey and showing parents where their children can hear the N-word, or they can see anti-Semitic comments. They can see, politicians calling COVID-19 racist Asian names. They can see anti-Muslim, homophobic, just about anything. If there is an other to hate, our children can see it online. They can see it in Roblox. Sorry, Laura, but they can. They can see it in Fortnite, in Minecraft. And actually, this is a normal thing. It's going to be on every single platform, from Twitter to Facebook to YouTube, because people are on all of those platforms. So as the mother to two little brown boys who are 10 and 13, and I am doing everything possible to, of course, to raise them to be anti-racist. But my goodness, it's also difficult when they are being targeted by this stuff, when they're just playing a game and, somebody thinks it's cool to talk like a gangsta, whatever that means. So what advice do you have for parents of color, non-parents of color, just anything hopeful, helpful? You said this bomb right at your foot, didn't I? You weren't expecting this.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Well, I'm ready.
Yeah, of course you're ready, because I know this is, I'm sure, something that you've been dealing with yourself, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
tell us, give us some pearls of wisdom, please. Let me get cheered up.
So close to my mind as well. Obviously, I've got a young boy as well, and it's a very challenging time. But all of these are seeds, and it's really a great opportunity each time this occurs to have that discussion. There is nothing that's going to be better than communicating and being clear, but also saying, look, I don't have all the answers here. I don't. But actually, what we're going to do is keep engaging, keep the communication going. It is, I think it's really, really important that we don't try and dull the pain of this and say, oh, don't worry about this, or don't be silly, or, that's not a problem. It is a problem. It is an issue. And we need to be informed, So if we don't know about racism, inform yourself about it as a parent. Start investigating it. Explore all the wonderful knowledge that is out there. There's been a book list going around, I think, every social media, it's a really, really well-informed book list around racism, anti-racism, how to explore that with your children, how to speak to them clearly about what's occurring in language that's understandable to children dependent on their age range and their emotional literacy. Really, it's really important that we engage with them at their level. So I was speaking to a friend the other day, and she was saying that she was debating whether to show her son, who was a young black boy, he was 9 years old, whether it was time to show him a program called 13. I don't know if you've heard of that, which is on Netflix, and quite a hard-hitting and strong program about the history of racism. And we were pretty much talking about, well, what level do you think he's at the moment? Because obviously it's not just about age. Do you think he'll find all the nuances there, or would it be more helpful to speak to him perhaps around another program? Or even just look at things like, oh, gosh, I saw that Marvel the other day. That's really interesting, isn't it? Were there many people on there that look like us? Or, and just explore with them just the conversation about race anyway. Because very young children often don't identify with, they know that there's different, but they won't identify with race as such, and that comes much later. So really, it's just exploring about different things, and many people have different shades and have different, and really starting to explore that with your young person. But again, it's very different. I could go on and on about this. Sorry, Elizabeth. That it's dependent on the age range, the language you'll use, and the type of communication. You know.
Yeah, but I think that's key, and I think that's key for because I'm always saying communication. People always want me to give them the digital parenting trick, and I just want to say
Mhm.
communication. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so let's talk. But it really is that key, and it's the most important thing. But what I also like is that you're saying age appropriate, because that's
Yeah.
another really important message that I stress when I'm talking to parents about
Mhm.
sexting or pornography. Sometimes I go
Mhm.
up speaking to a group of 5-year-olds. Obviously, I'm
Mhm.
not talking about pedophiles.
Mhm.
I say icky people, and they understand.
Yeah.
Icky is another one of my legal terms.
Mhm.
Get it? So that's all that matters. But but I found really interesting what you're saying, and the advice to your friend is about that documentary 13, because I saw it with my boys, and Dr. Michelle, I am almost ashamed to admit there were so many facts that I, as an
Mhm.
African American lawyer, did not
Mhm.
know. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness, it's just
Yeah.
crucial. And so my 10-year-old, he'll be 11 soon. Of course, it was a little difficult for him. It really was.
Mhm.
I had to talk to him about it, but I think he was,
Mhm.
obviously keep the conversation going. But
Mhm.
he was more, of course, touched by the death of
Mhm.
Michelle, which is something that
Yeah.
also very important for young Black boys to know
Yeah.
about. So
Absolutely.
I used that as a teaching moment, as a talking moment, and
Mhm.
I agree with you. We have so many. And so then, one super word of advice that you're going to tell all of those digital parents of color
Mhm.
about their children and about the digital divide, and the fact that we saw that in some communities of color that they didn't
Mhm.
have the same access, they didn't have the same remote learning,
Mhm.
to not seeing people who look like us, doctors and psychologists who are in the Silicon Valley.
Mhm. Mhm.
What are we going to tell those parents and those children?
Mhm. Are you talking about engaging with technology or?
I'm talking about anything that positive that you
Mhm.
say that you've seen
Mhm.
just years of studying the human mind.
Yeah.
So give us hope. You see, I'm just throwing you a bone here.
You can give me hope.
Hope, hope, hope.
Do there's really, I think this period of time has really shown us the resilience of Black children, really, and how they thrive on strive, really, on strife, and are able to really kind of push through lots of in lots of difficult situations. Unfortunately, we've seen with COVID-19. I was just looking on accounts yesterday and the figures for England, and we as a group, the Black and Asian and populations are coming out really poorly on the statistics in terms of death and diagnosis, and that's not any different for health, really, and in many different areas. And unfortunately, I am sure once we start to gather information around technology and the downsides of technology, it will be there as well. But what I would say to parents is, actually, we've always had the opportunities to engage with a range, and always been kind of creative in the ways that we work with our young people, and keep that creativity going. So actually, I've seen that, there's a young man that started a book challenge with one of his friends, where they're trying to see how many books they can read over the summer, and engage with. And it was particularly interesting because he was looking at black books and black topics for his group of friends, and it's looking at the positive. So we're always going to find challenges irrespective of race, but what we do know is actually what that brings with it is the positivity of building resilience. So see it as a protective factor, actually allowing your child to perhaps think outside of the box when it does come to technology. No, they may not have the top range of, but what they do have is a mind that will grow once the seed has been sown, and that's what we as parents are doing.
Okay, that's like mic drop moment right there, right? found. I'm just going to stop us right there. I am going to ask you for any of your social media stuff, because I'm sure that after hearing that, people are going to forward, retweet, send, share. So what is your handle on social media, on Facebook?
So on Facebook, it's Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle McDowell is my page, and I have a little group it's just simply Ask Dr. Michelle. And it's about gaming and screen time, but Ask Dr. Michelle. And Instagram is again Dr. Michelle McDowell.
Okay, so we will find you, and I'll be sure to post all that stuff too. So there you have it, digital parents. We have heard so many great things. So I'm just going to make this quick and say goodbye. And don't worry, I will bring her back because I want to talk to her too. Okay, bye-bye.